Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer 2 online action. Today we're back with the Vampire counts, going to be continuing our discussion from yesterday about if Total War Warhammer 2 is pay to win or not, or rather, if the DLCs are worthwhile. So last time we talked about the Empire, and I had said that the Empire is one faction that you can win pretty effectively without the DLC units or lords. Vampire counts are the flip side of the same DLC, that's the Grim and the Grave. So in this army, I've brought no DLC units. We've got Blood Knights out on the flanks, Black Knights with lances and barding on the other side, 4 units of Fell Bats, we've got a whole bunch of zombies and skeletons, 2 Vargulfs, as well as a whole bunch of hounds hidden over on the side. We're up against some Skaven. With their new DLC, they've got clan rats with shields, the tail slashers, more clan rats, a couple of plague monks, the Regiment of Renown plague pack, as well as the council guard, 2 units of rat ogres, and 2 hell pit abominations with the plague rat himself. So right off the bat, we're going to be moving in with the bats and the Vargulfs. The Vargulfs are meant to go after the hell pits. With their increased weapon strength as opposed to before. They also have regeneration, so they can do quite well. They have fast attack animations as well. They can do quite well 1v1 against the Hell Pits, so that's what we're going to use them for. You can see the rest of the units just kind of circling up here. Nice Scorch rips through some of those skeleton spears who had been moving forward. I was going to have them go support against those rat ogres, but looks like a spirit leech going off on that Hell Pit there. And yeah, this is definitely going to turn into a bit of a grind and blob fight. You can see I'm already starting to drop some healing. And these Blood Knights are going to charge into the Rat Ogres. Obviously, Blood Knights will do a ton of damage here. That unit of Rat Ogres is going to get absolutely savage. But there are Blight, Scabs, Plague Pack supporting. And they are doing a ton of damage to the Blood Knights in return. So definitely taking a lot of damage here. Probably more than it was worth. But Skrulk's coming in now. You can see we are slowly whittling away at the Hell Pits, and the Von Karstein, or sorry, I've got the Neckarch Lord here. He's going to get in here and help out. He's just got Spirit Leech and Invocation of Nehek, as well as Raise Dead. Yeah, this other Vargulf here pulled back a little bit to do some healing. We're going to rush back in to get on that Hell Pit in just a moment. The Black Knight's coming up from the low ground, and we've got the Hounds up and around. 1 unit of Hounds chasing off some Rat Ogres, the other Hounds dropping a rear charge here. Unfortunately, I leave them in here a little bit long, and because of the Discourage effect from the contaminated effect from the Plague Pack, it is going to set them to crumbling, unfortunately. But yeah, meanwhile in the center, this Hell Pit's getting pretty low. You can see we're doing good damage, but there's still this other unit of Rat Ogres as well, which is a little bit unfortunate. Definitely need to try and clear them out if possible, but more Black Knights coming around here. You can see a lot of the infantry for myself has crumbled away, unfortunately. I mean, I did bring a very light infantry force, so not really surprising, but still, with the infantry support gone, that does mean that the more high-value units are going to be taking the hits here, like the Vargulf, for example. Getting pretty close to the healing cap, but another Spirit Leech on the Hell Pit Abomination there. The Blood Knights are going to get in for a good rear charge. We hopefully can finish off this Hell Pit. It does look like his melee defense was just buffed up a little bit. And more summons going to be pulled up from both sides. Clan Rats on this side and zombies on my side. So yeah, bit of back and forth here. The balance power is slowly starting to tell in the Skaven's favor though, as a lot of the Vampire units are just being ground away here. And the Hell Pits were just not quite able to finish off. You can see we did get both of them quite low here. They're both in this center pocket now at this point. But yeah, I just unfortunately am starting to lose a lot of the lower tier units due to disintegration. We just can't keep the numbers together very well. You can see here the Vargulfs have been able to get, this one at least has been able to get to its healing cap. It's taken a ton of damage. It's also dished out a ton of damage as well. The other Vargulf's going to come in, start slapping the Hell Pits around a little bit, as well as the Rat Ogres. There's just a lot of bodies to try and cut through still, and unfortunately we didn't have a lot of anti-infantry damage. The Blood Knights and the Black Knights with lances weren't used super well by myself to take out the enemy infantry here, and it's definitely showing. You can see there's still a lot of the Plague Pack left. The Tail Slashers, you know, these other regiments for now, and the Council Guard are almost completely healthy still. So it's definitely a rough situation for the Vampire counts. You can see slowly but surely the Skaven are going to start grinding this one out here. So we'll soak up some cinematics as Skrulk and his Plague Pack here grind it out. Black Knight's going to get a decent rear charge here, but there's just a lot of heavy AP Skaven units in here to take them down. My Vargulf is just about crumbled away here. We actually are getting pretty close to finishing the Hell Pits off, but unfortunately we're just not quite able to do enough damage, and this one Vargulf goes down. That's going to be a lot of stopping power gone. And yeah, it is eventually going to grind out in victory for the Skaven, as you can probably guess here. It is going to take some time to finish things off, but you can see the Neckarch Lord trying to escape here, gets bashed by a Rat Ogre. Unfortunately, or rather fortunately, if you hate the vampires like I do, vampires are going to lose out here. So yeah, well played to my opponent. Hope you guys enjoyed watching this battle. We're going to be obviously dissecting things a little bit further here, but yeah, the two Hell Pits, just too much to take down. We eventually did take down the one, but the second one was just too much at the end of the day. The Council Guard had a lot of HP left, and just the supporting infantry, not being able to get rid of them was ultimately, you know, the killer there. Like I said, I didn't necessarily use my shock cavalry as well as I could have. If I had used the Black Knights and the Blood Knights a little bit better to help take out like some of the Plague Monks and the Clan Rats to isolate the Hell Pit Abomination from their support, might have gone a little bit differently. But still, Dire Wolves chasing off some units, 80 kills there, not too bad. Other than that, though, my army, I mean, obviously the Vargulfs got some XP chevrons doing damage to the Hell Pits, but it just wasn't enough at the end of the day. We weren't able to take them down quickly enough. Credit to Valnir, though. Valnir is a member of the community, a very good player. I don't know if he's played in a lot of tournaments, but certainly brought a very competent build here, played it very well, and was able to pull out the victory there. So, Vampire counts. As opposed to the Empire, I think, rely on the DLC a little bit more. So let's talk about why that is. With the Empire, we saw that there were some units that were not necessary, but certainly quite helpful. And you know, I kind of said that it was nice to have, but it wasn't super critical. For the Vampire counts, I would say that it's probably more important to have the DLC. We'll talk about why in just a minute here. So what do you get with the Vampire Counts DLC? Well, obviously you get clearly the best lord in the game, Helmengorst. No, guys, come on. Let's be real. Helmengorst is the absolute worst, and he's not the reason why you would get the DLC. The Strigoi Ghoul King. Now that we have the Strigoi Vampire Lord, the Strigoi Ghoul King is just kind of like a worse version of him. You do get him with the DLC. Not that you would really ever see him used all that much. So in terms of lord choices, you know, the fact that you get so many good free lords with the Vampire Counts, you get, you know, Vlad, you get the Red Duke, all of the Bloodline lords, Manfred, Kemmler, Vlad and Isabella both are free as well. So really, in terms of lord choices, you're set. Obviously, Regiments of Renown are quite helpful. You know, Regiment of Renown zombies aren't going to be super impactful, but like especially the Stearnsmen, they're probably one of the better Regiments of Renown in the game with their regeneration, good melee defense. Likewise, Varix Reavers, same thing, regen, good melee defense, good charge bonus, means they are great all-around Regiment of Renown. I guess, oh man, I actually did bring the Dire Pack in that last build without even thinking about it. Not that they ended up doing much, didn't make much of a difference there, but yeah, if I had swapped them out with a regular unit of Dire Wolves, might not have made much of a difference. My apologies, guys, I must have just slipped by me without noticing. But yeah, the Dire Pack, I mean, nice to have, but they're not super impactful. The main thing that you're missing out with the Vampire Counts, and what I could have used a lot in that battle, it would have made that battle a lot closer, is these two support chariots right here, the Corpse Cart and the Mortis Engine. So the Corpse Cart obviously comes in 3 varieties, and this is a DLC unit, so you do have to have the DLC to get access to the Corpse Cart. The regular Corpse Cart, just with the Vigor Mortis, is helpful, that +5 melee attack and defense, because the Vampire Counts tend to have pretty poor combat stats across the board. That Vigor Mortis is quite helpful. Likewise, the Balefire does give you a bit of extra, let's see, it reduces enemy power recharge rate. So, you know, that can be helpful against certain factions, not super impactful, but really the Unholy Lodestone, with its area of effect healing, replenishes health of undead combatants in an area of effect, as well as, of course, having the Vigor Mortis, means that the you just get another source of passive healing, and that's going to be very important. It means that you don't have to put as much into Invocation of the Heck. Your forces will fight a little bit longer, especially your chaff type units, like Skeleton Warriors, Skeleton Spears, Zombies. The Vigor Mortis giving them better stats, and the healing means that they'll just last a lot longer. They'll do a lot better for their cost. Likewise, the Mortis engine also gives a passive healing effect. This reliquary binding here. So between these two, obviously you can stack both of the effects, and you do get quite a bit of extra healing, and that matters a lot for the vampire counts, especially in a battle like what I just showed against the Skaven, where it's a very grindy, kind of atrocious Death Star type battle. Having these big healing area of effects would have made a huge difference for my army, especially for, again, the chaff units, the supporting units like the skeletons, the zombies, and so on. Just helping them last a lot longer would have been quite helpful. The Blood Knights as well would have gotten a lot more healing. I could have pulled them back, and of course the combat stat buffs as well. Not to mention the fact that the Mortis engine also has improved power recharge rate, which is of course extremely useful for the vampires, being that they rely on their Winds of Magic quite a bit. And not to mention, of course, the dreaded Reliquary Corruption, the area of effect drain damage that would have been very useful against all those high model count Skaven infantry units. This would have just torn their HP away at a very rapid rate, and being that it was kind of a grindy battle, it could have just helped to get rid of, certainly, the Plague Monks and the other units there, the other supporting infantry units. So, yeah, in summary, and again, this battle is just meant to, I know it's, one battle and I lost, but this battle is more just meant as eye candy, and my opinions are based on my own experience, for years and years of playing this game, since Total War Warhammer 1 was released, all the way up until the present day, and even previous Total War titles. All my experience summed up into one video, basically, with a replay to kind of give you an example. But yeah, in general, I would say the vampire counts do rely more on their DLC units, these two specifically, than the Empire does for their DLCs. So if you're looking at picking up Grim in the Grave, if you're a vampire counts player, you should definitely pick up Grim in the Grave. I would say it's even necessary and essential for you to be successful in multiplayer in a multitude of matchups. You're just way better off with the Mortis engine and the Corpse Cart. There's no question about that. These two are very essential. The Mortis engine especially is absolutely critical in certain matchups, in my opinion. Just because you really don't have a way of dealing with elite tier, especially elite tier halberds very effectively. So yeah, the Mortis engine is necessary. If you're an Empire player, I don't think Grim the Grave is necessary. It's certainly good to have, and if you have the disposable income, I would definitely recommend you pick it up. But it's not necessary in the same way that it is for the vampire counts, at least in my eyes. So yeah, again, one more time in summary, if you're a vampire player, pick up Grim in the Grave. If you're an Empire player, you should also probably pick it up, but it's not necessarily as critical. Or if you're just a player who likes playing all the different factions and loves variety, I would definitely recommend picking up Grim in the Grave, just for that sake alone. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button, so every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.